En fait, j'ai sur l'assistant. Oui, en fait, j'ai pas réussi à le voir, mais c'est à cause de mon
So, so you start QGIS with a new project. Okay. Okay, so in the browser part, if you scroll, you can see you have XYZ tiles and especially OpenStreetMap. You should see OpenStreetMap. So if you make a double click, oh, and then if you zoom in fact, you have OpenStreetMap database provided as an image thanks to WMS protocol. So, tu vas dans. C'est perdu, non? En fait, c'est normalement, tu l'as, tu es XY tax. Non, tu l'as pas? Oui, parce qu'en fait, là, tu as les meilleurs. En fait, il va y avoir. Tu find it. Pas de nom. Ah, mais ça, c'est. Il faut juste dire un double clic. Ah, oui, il va l'avoir. So you can take some minutes to navigate into OpenStreetMap. Is it working for everybody? Yes? Yes? For you too? Yeah. And you will see that when you are moving, if you are moving very fast, sometimes you will have some.
Yeah, it takes time.
You see the white. Sometimes you see the white square. The connection is so fast, but you can see it takes sometimes to download. So keep in mind, in fact, when you are moving in a map, in fact, it's hidden, but QGIS is sending a request to the cartographic server of OpenStreetMap Association. Say, okay, from this area, send me the image so that I will be able to display it into QGIS. In the same time, maybe you see that depending on the level of the zoom, you will see more or less details. It's normal. For example, here, it's obvious, but I don't see the roads and the buildings for this level. And when I will zoom in, I will see some information appearing, like vegetation area, water area, the main roads, and then up the buildings. Okay, so all this information, in fact, they are configured into the cartographic server. So you can say for these specific scales, you only display this information. And I don't know where I okay. So usually the game is to go in your hometown and to see if you have information on OpenStreetMap, for example. You have to find your hometown and see if you have information or if you have good information or wrong information. And what is nice here is since it's OpenStreetMap, if you see something which is wrong, for example, you can just go on OpenStreetMap website, create a free account, make the modification, and then just maybe tomorrow, the time the server will be updated, you will see the modification on the map because you are able to contribute to this data set.
Professor, which internet connection you are using right now? Because everybody is facing some problems.
Yeah, we have a error message.
Yeah, we are unable to zoom in because it's not
Okay. I have a God power. I'm using Eduroam.
So we are
But
using the same.
you don't have Eduroam? Yes.
We are using the same, but when we like try to zoom in,
Network request
yeah.
tile OpenStreetMap timeout. Okay. No, 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 but okay, I don't know. And you're using Eduroam too?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, okay. Okay, so here we have OpenStreetMap. Now, if we want to have more, for example, we will go in plugins and then manage and install plugins. So I didn't talk about this, but here this is the place where you will be able to install, to load plugins. So this is the like the what what makes QGIS very powerful is that there is a lot of plugins. Some of them they don't do in fact anything, but most of them they are quite useful. And so if you go to I guess you are here all for example, and there is many plugins you can see. It's yeah, very nice. If you use the search engine, you will be able to find most of them based on the keywords. And here we will just enter QMS. QMS for Quick Map Services. So if it's not already done, you can click on it and install. We click on it's already installed for me, but you can install this plugin. So you just search to QMS, then you click on Quick Map Services, and you install the plugin. Right? So it may take a few seconds. So you can see that there is more than 9 million people who downloaded this plugin. So once done, you can close this panel, this window. And then you should have now this icon, Quick Map Service. Yes. So if you click on you have some entry, especially for OpenStreetMap, but you will already open it. So if you click on Search QMS, you should see this panel, and then you have here. Let's say, for example, we want to have Google imagery. So here you have a list of WMS streams that lead to Google, and we will select those with the icon, Google Map icon. So for example, you want to have Google Satellite Hybrid, you just click to add, and then so you can see that it's added in the layer part here. So it's just after OpenStreetMap, so we will change the order, and that's it. So I just search to Google in the search engine, and then you scroll, and for example, you have Google Satellite Hybrid, but you can try another one, but just for the example. Is it working?
Yes.
So once again, this is the same idea, it's the same image, which is sent by the cartographic server of Google. And for this specific area, you are asking him to send you a PNG file with this information. So you can try with other data. Some of them are like bonjour. Boys, girls? No?
I didn't mind it.
No, no, it's not. It was plugged on the, and I remember the last time you were there.
Yeah.
But it's not
Okay. You want to be into that?
So you can try with other keywords, try to open some different WMS streams and see what is it on the map. So here it's just you have some find connection, but of course you can also add your own WMS information and stream, and it works very well. So just I give you some time to visualize, to search. For example, here I wrote water, for example, and I have Copernicus European Rivers Network, the first one, and so you have the classification using the Strahler order. It's the level of connection of your river. So this is an image once again. And you can see that it takes a few seconds to download. So you can open QGIS. And in fact, we were talking about the internet side where you can find and get information, geographic information, and use it into your project. And one way is to use what we call WMS. It's Web Map Service. In fact, it's a web protocol to get images and to visualize it in QGIS, but it's also the same when you are on Google Maps, for example. You get images depending on the area you are. How can I do that now? So, for example, you can just create a new project here, and if you scroll, you have XYZ type, and then OpenStreetMap. So then, if you zoom in, zoom again, when you see, depending on the zoom level, you will see more or less things. So here, you can see that it takes some time to download the image. You have that's here. And in fact, for each time you are moving, you are sending a request to a server to get the image that corresponds to this area. So using this WMS protocol. And it should be connected to internet every time I use this protocol. Yes, but you need if you move the map and you want to refresh, you need internet. Okay. And then if you go to plugins, manage, and then if you enter QMS, so this one you can install the plugin. Back then close, and then in the search engine, for example, if you search Google, for example, and if you scroll a bit, for example, you have you click add, and so it's hidden by the OpenStreetMap. If you no, it's okay. If you uncheck it, OpenStreetMap, you have Google imagery. Email provided by your Yes. Yeah, we just created the connection to the cartographic server of Google, and you are asking Google, in fact, to send you the image for this area. And so using this, you can search different things. So is it working for everybody?
Yes.
Yes. Now I will show you that you can add your own connection. I will just check the address to see if it will change it. Just checking something. We can do the break now. It's up to you. I don't know if you prefer.
Yes.
Okay, so you saw that using this plugin, you can search many different WMS streams that are preset in this application. And now I want to show you that you can also create connection with your own service. If you find a service that is cool for you, you can create a connection. So to illustrate this, we will go on internet and you will go on the GeoBretagne platform. So this is the SDI, the special infrastructure for the region Bretagne. You know where is Bretagne? Just on top of, yes, on the west top of Loire-Atlantic. So if you enter geobretagne.fr, you should arrive on this website. Yes. Yes. I see. Yes. Okay. So now you have here outil. What does it mean, outil? Tools. Thank you. So tools, and you have service inspire OGC. So outil, service inspire OGC. Right?
Yes.
So if you click here, then you can see that there is a huge list of WMS informations. And here we will focus on the cadastre. If you remember what is the cadastre, this is the parcels, the plots in which you have the buildings, all the information that are needed for the administration to make you pay the taxes. Okay? So if we just enter cadastre in the search engine, cadastre, and press enter. Right? So you should have only two results. In fact, they are more or less the same. What you can see here, this is the link of the WMS connection. So we will just copy this address. So copy the link, right? And then we will go back to QGIS. Now in the browser part, so I will just close this. So in the browser part, if you scroll, you should see where is it? Here. You should see WMS, WMTS. Yes? So once you are on WMS, you can just make a right click and new connection. I'm going too fast or is it okay?
Is it? Yeah, it's okay.
So new connection on WMS, WMTS. Now you just have to give a name. So let's say CADAS, for example, Bretagne. And then in the URL part, you will just pass the address you copied before. Right? Once done, you click on OK. And now, if you unfold here, you should see CADAS Bretagne. So now you can unfold. So you have a subfolder, and then you can see that you have a lot of different layers that are provided. In fact, here, what we are doing, it's a get capabilities. If you remember, it was the first step of the query. You just ask to the cartographic server to send the list of the layer that he is able to provide to you, right? So let's say, for example, we will click on the first one, CADAS 2019 en Bretagne, bâti. Make a double click. So we don't see anything. Why? Have you any idea?
Because it's related to buildings.
It's the same thing. Yes, we have to zoom in. Because here, in fact, we are talking about bâti. What is bâti? Bâtiment, buildings. So, in fact, the server is configured to display this information only if you zoom in. It makes no sense, for example, to display on this scale. So, we are in Bretagne, so we are here. Okay, so let's say we can zoom to Rennes, for example. So we are here, Nantes and Rennes. We will go to Rennes. So we zoom in again, and we should see. Oh, yes. So you should see the buildings appearing. Yes? Yes. So now you can try to open another layer. Let's say, for example, the parcels. So here, so you can see that it takes more time to display. Maybe the server from the Région Bretagne is slower than the one from Google, for example. Right? So you can see all the parcels and the buildings and so on. So what is interesting here is that you don't have the data, but you just create a connection and you can use this information into your project and so on. Right?
What is the parcel?
Working for everybody?
What is the
No?
parcel?
I think you need this again.
Like one of the square you are able to see in dark.
Okay,
It's a specific parts
it's like a
that
plot.
someone found.
Yeah, it's like a plot.
Plot.
It's a plot. Yeah, like plots. It looks like plot because it has the number specified and it has a boundary. Okay. But which one is this? It is on Infinity.
Ah, yeah?
Uh,
Okay.
So clear.
In
Yeah,
fact,
okay, got it.
because you have a very messy system.
So, we have like a manual maps like this, and there's always disputes on the land and plots like this. Even the families kill each other for if they don't have a specific boundaries defined like this. It's very problematic.
Sometimes it's I find it too organized.
Yeah, now our government is also like they are trying to change like digitizing it because it's very difficult. Like there are huge big maps that are you have to search. Not everybody can understand those maps. Like they have specified people who have ruler and they look like this with
other
magnificent.
layer and
Yeah.
It's cool. He was writing water. Yeah, yeah. I need it, but I don't C'est juste, il y a un risque, c'est des bords avec les racines. Enfin, c'est pour dire, bon, la troisième fois, il faut y aller. Because he was not here, right? One, we have to install plugin first, and then starts by thank you.
sometimes you have many
One experience of Mahalo. Just drop a bit my choice. But it was scary.
Yeah, I tried the another one, the one rotating one, and also the wheel, but not this one.
Now, I just wanted to show you something, just to illustrate what I'm doing in my job, and I will show you that we can get the results here also in QGIS. So in my lab, we developed what we call Noise Planet. This is a website where uh, we communicate on the tools we are developing, especially, in fact, noise modeling, which is an application to simulate the propagation of noise in the environment. And we also developed noise capture application, which is a smartphone application only for Android right now, but we are developing for iPhone. That makes possible for everybody in the world to measure the noise level in their environment and to publish their data on the community map. So we have more or less 200 measurements per day coming from all over the world, and it fits in fact the biggest database in the world on domain. Since in fact everything is open, you can use the data collected by the community for free. So just to show you, so it's like a sonometer, you can measure the sound level, and you can also have information on the map. So using the GPS of your smartphone, you can share your measurement. Why I'm talking about this? Because here we have the map, community map. So here you have to imagine that in fact all the contribution, all the measurement made by the citizen, the users, they are stored on our server. We have a huge database. Then we have a cartographic server who is connected to this database to extract the information and to convert it into images that are then feeding this website. So if you zoom in, so here you have this hexagon that's showing you the number of measurements that you have. And for example, if we go to Lyon, where is Lyon? So
There's so many and more.
not there is many,
No,
but
even.
you will see that in fact in Lyon there is many more. I'm lost. Yeah, Lyon, for example, here. So
Just the number of measurement, this one, or is
yes,
it the decibel?
no. So here in this case, this is the color represent the decibel.
Okay.
So you can click on the cells and you will see the variation. So on each cells, you have the contribution in the working day and during Saturday and Sunday. When you are doing the measurement at the end, you can also add some tags to describe the measurement. If you heard, for example, road traffic, if you heard birds or something like this, and so we are using these tags to characterize the soundscape of this area. And you can also visualize, for example, here, these are all the GPS points taken by the application. So you can see that there is many measurements that have been done. So you can see that here it's lagging. It's asking information from the cartographic server, so it may take some time. And all the components here, for example, to choose the layer, these are the cartographic libraries we saw in the course. So in this case, this is leaflet. All right. So we have the information. So we are inside the website, but in fact, we can also visualize this thanks to QGIS. Since these layers are provided under WMS, we can connect to this server. So here you don't have to do it, but it's just to show you. In fact, if I go back to let's say, oh no, I was in Rennes. Okay, so I already made the connection to our server, which is noise capture here, and we are providing 3 different layers. And if I click here on the first one, here you can see we have the measurement made by the users. So I'm just visualizing exactly the same layer as here. This is this one. So for example, if I go back to Lyon in QGIS, you can see
Professor,
exactly this. So the only difference is here it's interactive because we have information to get the information. In fact, we are doing a get feature info to get the information on the sets, but we can visualize it here.
Professor, how did you get the link of this one to add it into that one? To the
You mean
QGIS, the link, because we need a link to,
Yeah.
take.
In fact, so it's written here. It's written here, exploit data, and we explain how you can access to the data. And the last part is geoservice. So it's here, and you get the address here.
The end use of the friendship, like noise board.
Sorry,
The end use like
in fact, the end use, it's for us, it's when we created this, it was the purpose was to work on the question of how we can feed our model to simulate the noise propagation, etc. With heterogeneous data set coming from low-cost sensor. Because before that, in fact, we only relies on very accurate but very expensive sensors, sonometer, and that were in fact we only had few of them. For example, for the city of Nantes, 10 years ago, there was only maybe 4 or 5 sonometer for the whole city. So we have only 5 points, let's say 5 points of measurement that were very accurate. But what about the rest of the area? So we say, okay, maybe we can have like an hybrid approach to have this very accurate sensor, but for the rest have low-cost sensors coming with smartphone. We know that the measurement will be less accurate, but in the same time we will have more measurement. So if we process them in a statistical way, with the Gauss curve, we can tend to have something which is accurate. Okay. So in fact, there is a lot of research question on how to trust this data set and then how to use it into our model because, for example, in our model, in noise modeling here, when we are doing noise maps like this, for example, it's based on data that are we only have indicators that are for the year, on 1 year. For example, on this street, we know that the mean value of the road traffic is, let's say, I don't know, 1,000 cars per day on the year. So it's a mean value. But what about if we have more real-time data sets? We will see maybe huge differences between the morning and in the so we want to have an approach where you can feed the model with more up-to-date, more realistic information, not mean on the year. So yeah, we are working on this question, and it's not so simple. Yeah, okay. So it was just to illustrate how it works.
I have a question.
Yes.
So with time, let's say the noise level is going up in a certain area. So how is it updated on the map? Will it take the old values as well?
On the map, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here it's just the mean value.
Everything.
Yes.
For the past, how many?
Yes. Since the creation, it's 2017.
Is there an option maybe to discard the first few years?
Good question. Not right now, but we are working on that.
Oh.
For example, here you have the statistic numbers since the beginning. So, for example, as I said, this is the biggest in the world, biggest database because we have the duration, which is quite
How many
huge.
years? No? Like 7?
You can calculate.
It's usually like 7 years, maybe more than that.
Yeah, and the number of number of tracks.
5 years.
In fact, the number of measurements that have been made uploaded. And yeah, this is one question of we have some users that say, okay, we display only for this period. So we are working on that. We just added, for example, a tool to extract information based on the data on the date you want. But yeah, we need to add this option into the map to filter only. But in fact, it's not so simple because it means that for a specific period that the user will specify, we have to recalculate everything because here it's a mean value. You understand? So in fact, for it's simple on the paper, but in fact on the infrastructure side, it means that once you user specify the date, we have to filter the dataset to keep only the information on this area for this period, and then to compute again the mean value of dB. We need a powerful machine.
Like the number is 0.8K is the number of measurements taken by a user and send it to the.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So you can see that we have contribution from, let's say, all over the world.
And they just do it for doing it.
My question also, like, how is user very persuaded to do these things like every time just to measure and give the data?
This is a good question. In fact, there is a lot of people who are doing this for themselves before, because, for example, they are annoyed by some, let's say, by factory or by road traffic, and they want to prove. So that's why they make some measurement. There is also some people who are doing the measurement just to help scientific projects.
Like Google Maps, like reading something like that.
Yes, but in fact here we are talking about open science. The fact that people are contributing to research projects to science by creating this measurement. They know that they will help the research. So here, for example, we created this project for our own research question, but we in fact know that there is many researchers in the world that are using this dataset for their own research, not necessarily on acoustics, but for example, many of them they are using it for health question because we know that the noise has a real impact on the health.
What does
So there
this
is
digit like
researchers who
3,
are
4,
working
2K,
on
like
this
what
question
does this
to
digit mean
to
actually?
work on the
It's
link
the
between
number
noise
of
and,
measures
for example,
that have
obesity.
been realized
We
in
know that, for example, there is
different
a
places.
researcher,
For example,
who is working with noise capture
here
data,
I'm in biotech,
and he's
you have around
linking
2,000
the
users
noise is
in Denmark. Like
the
1,000
study
people
of
have
obesity on
used
child, for
the
example.
app. I don't know if it's 2,000 people, but
And
there
there is
were
a link, in fact,
2,000
not
measures
directly,
made.
but in fact,
And
it shows that
then you can zoom and you have all the
if you are in a noisy area,
here one measure.
have
It lasts 48 seconds.
yes,
How many decibel?
because in fact,
Yeah.
if you are the noisy area,
Go
you
on.
have low
Okay.
incomes,
I think
you
that's all.
are eating bad quality.
Or maybe you don't go out for exercise
Yes,
because of the
yes,
noise.
there is many reasons, but you can explain.
How do you come up with this topic?
Maybe someone said like, why don't you exercise? Maybe because it's so noisy, I
Yeah.
can go outside.
For example, I work on a project with a French researcher working on the question of development of child since they were born to their up to 20 or something like this. So there is in France there is a huge database on 12,000 children that are followed since when they were born to up to 20 years. And let's say every 6 months, their parents they have to fill a questionnaire about many questions. And so he's using this data set, and we compute it for each of these children, the noise area we computed, and he's trying to see if there is a link between the development of the child and the noise, the exposure to noise. And the first results he didn't publish, so but it's yeah, another process. The first results showed that the child that are exposed to high noise pollution, they are more what we say introverti, introvert, yes. And it was a surprise for them, for this researcher, but yeah, it's the first results. So they have to search more in more accurate way to explain why. But it seems that the children that are exposed to noise are more introvert. So there is a many yeah, the exposure to noise can have many consequences, in fact.
Now, Professor, just want to be clear, like the number it represents like 3,706K at like 79K is the average
No,
of the
here-
measurement.
No, here it's just the number of contribution inside this cell,
Okay.
just to see where there is more contribution. And when you zoom in,
It's a very huge number also.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and then when you go,
so it's like the individual contribution. Or-
the number of what we call tracks of measurement that have been made inside this cell.
Okay.
So it can be only from you, for example, or from 100 people. I don't know.
Okay.
It's just the number of total contribution
Okay.
on this area, right?
Okay.
Crazy.
Okay, so it was just to illustrate how it works, right? Any other questions? No? Okay, so now we can conclude with this part, and now we will start small projects with specific data on QGIS.